Hey guys, Kenny Wisdom here, and today we're going to go over the Aromatisse Big Basics Fairies deck that won the Singapore State Championship this past weekend in the hands of Xavier Chua. First of all, let me say that this isn't Xavier's exact list. I wasn't able to get that from him, but from watching the streams a few times, I think this is very close. I think this is the actual 60 cards that he ran, but I could be wrong. It could be a card or two off. Regardless, I think that it's a pretty good starting point at the very least, and it's not more than a card or two off at the very most. Um, so let's get right into it. For those of you who don't know, Aromatisse was the Gen 6 Pokemon from the new X and Y set. And as you can see, it's Fairy Transfer, like Dark Trans before it on Hydreigon. Lets you move around Fairy Energy how you like, attach any of your Pokemon. And if you're familiar with the Hydreigon decks and Klinklang from the past, I guess 3 years now, 2 years now, you'll know that the big thing that helps these guys is Rainbow Energy, which is recently printed, which counts as a Fairy Energy when it's attached to a Pokemon. So basically, with Rainbow Energy and with Prism Energy, all the energy count as Fairy, so you can move them around however you like and really open up a world of different attackers. There has been a little bit of talk of the actual Fairies deck with Aromatisse and Xerneas EX and the Xerneas, it's not an EX and those guys, but really I think you don't lose a whole lot by playing just the special energies. Xerneas EX isn't the best attacker. Regular Xerneas is actually an incredible card, but doesn't have the rest of the fairy support. You know, there's not. I don't think that a deck that's just running basic fairy energies is really going to be that successful right now. I could see an amalgamation of both. I could see putting in some fairy cards into this kind of deck, I guess, but I just don't think that there's that many strong fairy cards besides Aromatisse. Again, Xerneas EX is an underwhelming attacker. The regular Xerneas you could run for um, acceleration to attach energy to your Pokemon, but again, you can only do that with fairy energies that are in the deck because Rainbow and Prism do not count as fairy while they're in the deck. And there's the other um, Fairy Stage 1 that has the same ability as Virizion, but again, when you're running the Prisms and Rainbows, there's not really much of a reason to run Virizion. Alright, sorry, there's not really much of a reason to run that Pokemon over Virizion. Um, so to get right into it, after that short explanation, we have Aromatisse, that's kind of the engine of your deck, lets you move all your energies around. And then you have Thundurus, which is kind of your main attacker, at least in the early game. Thundurus, like it performs in the Plasma deck, lets you use Raid Knuckle early to attach energy from your discard pile to any of your Pokemon. Landorus EX is a card that we've seen get played a lot more recently than it has been in the past year or so. Again, with Fairy Energy, all these energies count, or all the Rainbow energies can be moved down however you like. Hammerhead is a great attack for setting up KOs and attacking early, and Land Judgment can basically knock out anything, especially after a Hammerhead. Evil EX is the best attacker in the game right now, and the Fairy decks, use that to their advantage, especially with the fact that you can move around as many energies as you want. You can attach them all to Evil and then Evil Ball for a lot of damage. Looking through the rest of the list, Genesect is also a good attacker. We play the Plasma Energy that lets you attach it to Genesect and force a Pokemon from your opponent's bench up active. And then you have G-Booster, which again lets you do 200 with Genesect, as it's been a very big card recently. So that's the general gist of the deck. You want to get Aromatisse set up, you want to move your energy around, attack with guys depending on what the matchup is like. As you can see here, we have Keldeo to give you that free retreat, and also be able to knock out water-weak Pokemon again. The energies are all types, so you can move them around with Aromatisse, and then Secret Sword for more damage. We have Darkrai, which again, because the energies are dark types, lets you retreat anything that has an energy attached to it for free. And Sigilyph, because it just walls EXs. No EX can hurt it. A lot of the decks right now, I mean, look at this deck, has no non-EX attackers besides Sigilyph and Aromatisse. The Blastoise deck, for instance, doesn't really have any besides Blastoise. Most of the Plasma decks that aren't running Kyurem only have Snorlax. Decks are really vulnerable to that right now, and I really like the inclusion of Sigilyph. Um, So that's the basic idea of the deck. What the other very important card is Max Potion, which, as you can see, you get to normally Max Potion is kind of a blowout because even though you're healing, you're discarding all your energy. But with this deck, you can move all your energy off of that Pokemon with Fairy Trance, Max Potion them, and then move them back. So the same strategy we saw employed in the Kling and Hydreigon decks is the same thing we see here. Now the rest of the deck is pretty standard. Okay, supporters, Ultra Ball, a high Ultra Ball count with 4 of them because we want to be able to get energy in the discard pile with for Thunderous attack, and also because there's a lot of dead attackers. You have you need Aromatisse, and you want to attack with Genesect mostly, and then also in the matchup you need Thunderous. But besides that, maybe Yveltal's bad, maybe you're playing against a Lightning deck, or maybe Sigilith's bad because you're playing against Napoleon or Flareon or something, and you can kind of dump those attackers out of your deck and only have the ones that you really want. Additionally, an interesting choice was Fairy Garden. That basically is just a secondary Darkrai effect. Each Pokemon that has any Fairy range attached to it has no retreat cost. I'm not sure how much I like that card. I think Darkrai does a lot of that for you. Obviously, you're only running one Darkrai, so you could struggle to get it out, and the free retreat is very, very good. I think I probably would have started with one and maybe worked my way up, but again, Xavier did win states with this, so he probably knows what he's doing. And then we have the normal run of supporters with 4 Juniper, 4 N, 3 Skyla, 3 Colorus, and 1 Shadow Triad. And then just so you can see the counts of the energy, we're running 12 with 4, 4, 4, Plasma, Prism, Rainbow. We also have 1 switch, 1 Tool Scrapper, or sorry, 1 switch, 1 Super Rod, and then 2 Tool Scrappers. Muscle Band is a huge card right now. We run 3 of them ourselves. And Tool Scrapper is very good versus Garbodor, which can hurt this deck. Without Fairy Trans, your deck isn't not nearly as good. So you need those to protect against Garbodor and other Pokemon that have tools attached to them. So the big thing, to get more kind of into the discussion of the deck, so the big weakness of decks like this in the past is that there's no energy acceleration. That's part of the reason why the Hydreigon version was so good, was because it actually let you use Dark Patch to attach energies from your discard pile. So while Aromatisse lets you manipulate the energies, it doesn't actually let you attach them quicker, which is kind of something, it's why you need Thunderous, and it's kind of something that historically throughout Pokemon, especially in the past couple of years, almost every big deck has ran some form of energy acceleration. If we look at recent results from, let's say, this past year's World Championship, we have a Darkrai. Jason's Darkrai won Worlds. It plays Dark Patch. We have a Thunderous deck in Finals. It plays Thunderous. We have a Blastoise deck in the top 4. It plays Blastoise. We have a Dustin's other Darkrai deck that runs Dark Patches. And then if you look back, you want to look back the rest of the season. You have Electric. You have Virizion and Genesect from this season. You just have so many. Energy acceleration has always been a very important aspect of Pokemon, and this deck not having that does hurt it. However, you do have a lot of energy manipulation, and if you can get the game going, and if you can kind of get set up, you'll be in a very good place. And as I said, Thundurus does help you there. What else helps you is that Aromatisse, if you notice, is only a stage 1. Both the decks that I've been comparing Aromatisse to, Kling and Hydreigon, rely on stage 2s. So, not only did you need to find the energy and not have your energy hammered away, and you need to find all your attackers, but you also needed to find a basic rare candy stage 2. Whereas Aromatisse can evolve on the second turn, get going, and really, in a lot of cases, just be unstoppable from there. The other big advantage this deck has to it is kind of playing the weakness game. Weakness is one of the first things that people notice about Pokemon when they start playing, and first things try to manipulate. And although it's not terribly relevant in a lot of these Pokemon and a lot of these matches right now, you do get to kind of play whatever the game of whatever is good I'm going to tap with. So if you have a Darkrai active and a Darkrai on the bench, I'm probably going to be attacked with my Landorus. If you have a Keldeo active, I can move in with my Virizion or my Genesect. If you have an Yveltal active, Thundurus is going to do well there. If you have any kind of EXs active, Sigil's going to do well there. If you have a Delphox or an Emboar active, a Keldeo is probably going to be pretty good, or a Reshiram. Um, and the beauty of that also is that it lets you manipulate your deck and change your deck list however you really want it. Same with the Ho decks we've been discussing for the past couple months. The Spooky Sect list with Ho and Virizion Genesect. You can kind of edit the attackers to be whatever you want. You know, you can say, well, Blastoise got really big, so I don't really want to run Landorus because he's weak to Keldeo. But maybe I do, cut those two Landorus and I put in a Rayquaza to beat their Black Kyurem and another Genesect to beat their Keldeo. You can kind of make those decisions on a local scale too, and any scale you want. Right, you can take it to the next regionals and know that X deck got wildly popular. Darkrai Yveltal is more popular, so you're going to put in some kind of lightning attacker. And it lets the deck kind of be a staple forever. Kling Kling was very good for a short time. Hydreigon has been very good for a very long time, and I suspect Aromatisse, because of its Stage 1, because of it being a Stage 1, will be around for a very long time as well. I'm probably going to film a Battle Tower with this deck, hopefully this week or next, so be on the lookout for that. I hope you enjoyed the deck tech. Let me know what you think of it. Again, this might be a few cards off, but I think it's just about right. So take it for a spin on Pokemon Online. Challenge the On The Bubble account to a battle if you'd like, if you see this online. And let me know what you think of the deck in the comments. I love you. Good night.